Welcome, guys, everyone, back to the Casual Talk Pod. I'm Check the Rock, and I'm here with Imanol Perez. Or
Master my hoops, you already know.
last pod, we talked about our mock drafts for Thursday's NBA draft. But today, we're going to keep it simple, one topic only. Our reactions to the draft Thursday night. Let's get it started, I guess. So,
Yeah.
Paolo Banchero goes number one overall over Jabari Smith to the Orlando Magic.
We'll assume Orlando went with the highest floor available of the top three. It was obvious who the top three were going to be. It's going to be an interesting fit in Orlando now because I would assume Jalen Suggs is going to be the one creating for Pablo because Pablo needs to play a point guard to create for him a little bit. I would assume it'd be Suggs, Cole Anthony, either Wagner or Isaac at the three, depending on if Isaac can get healthy. Paolo, and then Wendell Carter at the center, or Mo Bamba if he resigns.
So I don't mind this pick, but I would have thought they would have went more defensive with Jabari Smith and had a longer wing combo in Isaac and Jabari. But I don't mind this pick though. I mean, I totally agree. This was definitely. I was surprised though, honestly. Just scrolling through Twitter, getting notifications, whatever. But you guys don't know. Turn off Twitter notifications though for the draft though once it starts, because that shit annoying, bro.
They come in fast.
And
They come so fast.
I'd rather be surprised than know who's gonna go. But Woj and Shams, they all tweeted out like the Magic are looking to land Paolo, but like I gave it a solid B plus, I think. I mean, I don't mind the pick. I kind of wish they went with Jabari Smith because I think he'd be a better fit with the system. But I don't mind Paolo though. But the real question is, how many years until Paolo comes to LA and play for the Lake Show?
Magic first overall picks are destined for LA somehow.
Shaq, Dwight,
Shaq and Dwight.
Paolo.
Next.
And they both won championships there too. So 5 years, maybe the Lakers will be on top again. Who knows?
We'll see.
But number two, we have the Oklahoma State Thunder going with the 7-footer who's 195 pounds, Chet Holmgren.
I mean, it's a very OKC pick. The thing that bothered me a lot is that they have another version of Chet homegrown in Poku, yeah.
Mhm.
Obviously, Chet is probably has a higher floor, probably has a higher ceiling as well. I would have thought they would have waited another year for center and gotten Victor Wembanyama, but instead they go with Chet Holmgren. It's a very OKC pick. They like their project players. They like to develop their talent. It's hard to say what Chet will end up being because there's a lot of questions around his weight, his health, and so on and so forth. But there's other nine that he can hoop.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like the pick. I don't like it. I think they should have went with Jabari. I mean,
I agree Jabari fits better, but
better. I'm more of a person that I don't like to go best player unless like you're like
this is
mid
LeBron
to late lottery.
or it's LeBron.
I mean LeBron. If LeBron's on the tip, you're gonna take LeBron.
Yeah,
But I'm more of a better fit type person coming into the draft. I think Jabari would just his 3-point shooting along with SGA, Lou Dort, and all those
Giddy.
get Josh Giddey. I think that'd be a lot better fit in Oklahoma City. But I'm excited to see what Chet goes with and what he comes out with because there's gonna be a lot of hype around him for him being a top prospect since he was in high school. So let's see what comes out of Chet Holmgren.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, the Houston Rockets take our guy that we projected to go number one, Jabari Smith.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Jabari Smith and Jalen Green, I might have to become a Houston Rocket fan for the time being. Oh my god! And they got Ty later in the draft as well, which is they fixed their point guard issue potentially there. So it'd be Ty Green or Kevin Porter, depending on how you want to rotate that.
They also have Kenyon Martin Jr. They can come off. And then they have
I like
the
Sagoon a lot. I like Sagoon's game a lot at the center. There's a lot to like in Houston's team. There's a lot to like. Jashawn Tate.
yep, Deshaun Tate.
He's nice too.
Now this is a pick I like though. I like it. Jabari Smith, I think we all knew the issue in Houston too was their defense this past season. And like all through, I mean, they haven't been a defensive minded team probably since Yao Ming was there. I mean, it's been that long. When James Harden and CP3 was there, there are only two defensive players were PJ Tucker and Clint Capella. They also had Trevor Ariza there in that time, but he was getting old, so his defense wasn't great. But Jabari fits the system well. I could see pick and rolls coming with Jalen Green. He can spot up at the 3-point line. He's a great cutter, and he's going to fill that defensive hole that Houston was missing the past couple of years.
No, yeah, I really love this fit. I might have to watch a lot of Houston games this year, no lie.
Gotta
They
get
might
that-
not win much this year because they're still a pretty young team, but they're gonna be a fun team to watch for a while.
Gonna have to get the NBA League Pass though.
Yeah.
Number 4. I can't. They messed up again. They messed up again. I don't know how they can do it so many times. I mean, it's not really technically their fault, but Sacramento goes with Keegan Murray. And you projected this. You predicted this to go down.
I mean, Keegan Murray obviously is arguably the best scorer of the rest of the draft outside the top 3. Maybe he is a better scorer than 1 or 2 players out there, but he's a pure scorer. He fits really well with De'Aaron Fox. The question is, can him and Sabonis fit? Because they're pretty much the same player in a lot of ways.
That's why I didn't like the pick. I don't know how they're gonna, because like they also have Rashad Holmes. Are you gonna play Keegan Murray at the 3?
You might have to.
I mean,
the modern NBA requires lengthy wings nowadays. You have wings playing guards these days because for some reason that's the goal.
I just don't see I think they're gonna be. I don't know, but like it all comes up with Mike Brown comes up with over the offseason throughout the season. I think that's gonna be a major factor on what the Kings do with Keegan Murray. I honestly think Keegan Murray is just gonna be one of those players that they're gonna be like, well, he doesn't fit the system now. We're gonna ship his ass out, just like how they did to Tyrese Halliburton.
And then he's gonna ball out whatever team he lands on.
Exactly. Number 5. Now this is a team. They won the draft. I'm shocked about what Detroit did, but they went with Jaden Ivey at 5th. Love it.
Yo,
Honestly, in love.
Jaden Ivey and that team is gonna be so nasty. I might have to also root for Detroit this year.
There's a lot of good young teams this year.
There is. Detroit looks like a fun team to watch. Jaden Ivey to me, he reminds me so much of John Wall. Maybe he's not as explosive or he's not as strong of a defender as John Wall is, but he reminds me a lot of John Wall, man. When I watch him, he's a really good playmaker. Him, Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham, people that might have run.
Killian
later.
Hayes.
No, kidding, he's out of there. He's not a good point guard.
I mean, he's young. He's still got time though.
He got time, but he's not that good.
And also they shipped Jeremy Grant's contract out too. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Detroit does.
Marvin Bagley as well.
They got Bagley.
Isaiah Stewart, but we'll see what Isaiah Stewart happens with.
But this is not the end for Detroit.
It's not. We'll come back to them.
So we're gonna go 6. And I had no issues with this man at all until his post-draft comments. Indiana goes with Benedict Mathurin at 6, which I predicted for them to go for.
It's gonna be interesting guard combo between him and Tyrese for the foreseeable future. I would assume that means Brogdon's probably out of there.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Buddy Hield? Do you think what if they're gonna play Buddy at the 2?
No, they're probably gonna play Benedict at the 2. I can see Buddy coming off the bench.
Because they
Role.
also got TJ Warren too.
TJ Warren might have to come back soon. Yeah. Miles Turner.
The main issue I have with this dude, and I know we talked about this, and you have no issues about this, but I got issues with this. So I don't mind players coming out and saying, I have a high ceiling. I think I'm great. Like how Chet said, he was like during his pre-draft, he was like, oh, who do you think is the best player? And he said himself in 2 months. Fine. Didn't call anyone out. But this man called out the GOAT. The GOAT. He called out LeBron and said, LeBron's got to prove to me that he's better than me. Boy, you have no idea what issue you're getting into. You only didn't piss off LeBron.
Realistically, Bron is better than Benedict. There's no question about it. No one's going to debate that. Benedict is a better player than LeBron, especially in in today's time. It's not gonna happen. But you, as an NBA player, you have to have that confidence that you are better than anybody else. Granted, he's gonna get his welcome to the NBA moment. He's gonna maybe potentially struggle a little bit early on the season, like most rookies do, and that's fine. But you have to have that confidence that you are a great player. You are aiming to be the greatest player you possibly can be. And I mean, LeBron, it comes with the territory. He's number one player for the NBA for how long? Whether he is the best player now or not is debatable, but it's still LeBron James. He's done wonders for decades at this point. It comes with the territory that everyone's gonna take shots at him, and everyone's gonna want to be where LeBron's at. And players that come into the league are hungry and want to prove themselves. I have no issues with that. We cannot praise Kobe for having mama mentality and then get mad when a rookie does it. We can't do that.
See, my issue wasn't him thinking that he wants to be great and he thinks he's great. You just don't straight out just come into the league as a rookie and say, I'm better than him. He's got to prove he's better than me. That's it. But otherwise, but also with the Pacers, I like the pick. They needed a 3-and-D type guy, like how I said before. I think he's gonna fit well into that. Oh, what's his their head coach. Rick Carlisle? Rick Carlisle's system, because we all know Rick Carlisle is more towards the defensive side of the ball, which was tough for him in his last couple years in Dallas because he had to switch his role to more of an offensive coach because of Luka. But I'm liking the way they're going. They got Tyrese. They got him for Sabonis. They got Benedict. They're going to get more young pieces and more draft picks, along with, I'm guessing they're going to try and ship out Buddy Hield, like how you said, and Malcolm Brogdon. And then they also got Miles Turner. It sounds like they're not willing to ship him for a low cost. Maybe there's a swap between Turner and DeAndre Ayton and possibly something like that. But
listen, the Pacers no longer have the Sabonis excuse. I need to see Miles Turner do something. I know he could do something. I need to see him do something.
This man led the league in blocks per game.
I need to see him. He offensively, he's a much better player than he's shown over the years because the focus was on Sabonis. He's no longer there. I need to see something from Miles Turner. I need to see it.
But I'm excited to see what Benedict does, but I'm just begging you, bro. Please stop calling out players. It's okay to say that I want everyone else in the league to prove themselves that they're better than me, but don't single out a guy. But number 7, I was sort of super duper surprised about this, though. Shaedon Sharpe goes to Portland, and I don't see what Portland is doing. I mean, if KD's on the market, they can use Shaedon as a trade asset to send him, but from recent news and all that came out, we can talk about that in a different pod. But it sounds like they're probably going to keep Shaedon, but what are they going to do with Simons, Sharpe, and Lillard?
The Blazers have this issue, and they've always done this, where they go very guard heavy for some reason. I mean, 2 years ago, they had Dame, CJ, and behind Dame and CJ, they had Gary Trent and Simons just rotting there. They've always been a very guard heavy team for some reason, even though we're in a wings league. Obviously, adding Jeremy Grant helps a lot to that team, but they need another wing. I don't know why. I mean, if Shaedon Sharpe, you get a little growth spurt, get to like 6'6", 6'7", he could start playing the 3 undersized because he has a 6'11" wingspan. He has a really big wingspan, and if he can develop, because he's obviously a mystery. He never played a game in college. It's a big mystery to what he really can be. But his high school tape was nasty. I'll say that.
I think all NBA players' high school mixtapes are nasty. I mean, but I just don't see what Portland is doing. I mean, like how you said how they always go guard heavy. They went Dame in 2012, and then the following season they went with a smaller shooting guard in CJ, which we all saw that it worked to a certain point. But I think they could have done better at this pick. They could have shipped it to a different team, or they could have went with a different player, which they should have.
I mean, for once, Shaedon Sharpe is a defensive strong guard, which is something that they've been lacking for years. Well, they haven't been lacking for years. They have Gary Trent, but they just didn't use him the way he should have been used until the very end. And then they traded him for some reason.
I don't know what Portland does anymore. Portland is kind of like Sacramento to me right now, but they have a top 15 player in the league, pretty much wasting him like how Washington's wasting Beal right now. But that's for a different story.
He doesn't run from the ground. He doesn't run from the ground.
But number 8, I like this pick. The Pelicans take Dyson Daniels from the G League Ignite. Love it.
Bro, their starting lineup is so big. I think Zion might be the smallest player. Height wise.
How tall is Dyson Daniels?
I believe he's 6'7", 6'8".
Holy cow. I didn't think he was that tall.
Third lineup. Well, CJ. I forgot CJ. CJ's pretty small.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a very big team. They have so much size and so many wings. Like this team, if everything develops correctly, might be very scary.
See, I think if Dyson Daniels is that tall, I could see them going with kind of what Philadelphia did in the past with Simmons, Butler, Harris, Horford, and Embiid. Actually, no, Horford wasn't there at the time.
Yeah.
But they went with that big lineup that they had when they lost to the Raptors. I like the pick. I think they're going to have him come off the bench. I think they're going to go for a Ricky Rubio this offseason. But over time and development, I think Dyson's going to be a great young piece that can play the point guard position. He's going to distribute the basketball. But
I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard to distribute the basketball on that team. It's give the ball to 14 and
or give the ball to give the ball to Zion the way he's been looking recently.
alley-oop it to Zion, which Dyson can do.
I mean, the dude's got some hop too. He can jump off the roof too.
Yeah, no, this is a very big team. It's going to be very interesting to see how they develop in a few years.
The one thing I want Dyson to work on is his 3-point shot. If he can develop a more consistent 3-point shot, he's going to be a threat on the court.
That's the advantage of having someone like CJ right next to you, though. You don't have to develop it right away.
Yeah, he's got time, but I think the championship window isn't like it's further away, but with how old CJ is getting and because he came into college, came into the NBA as what, 21, 22 years old. He played at Lehigh for a period of time.
I mean, the Pelicans are in the win now window anyways, and I can see CJ winning it as a veteran more than as the guy or the second piece.
I mean, again, they still got Zion and BI though, so
exactly.
I give Dyson 2 years, and then I think he's going to be a great role player that how we all think he's going to be. But at number 9, the Spurs shocked us again. I'm already seeing your reaction right now with the shaking head or whatever. They went with Jeremy Sokan out of Baylor. I'm going to be honest, I had no idea who this dude was when he was drafted. I had to do more research into him. I don't like the pick. I don't. Especially with the rumors going around with DeJounte Murray possibly getting traded. I thought they should have went with a bigger name at this spot right now.
I have no words. I really was hoping that they go AJ Griffin at this point.
I would have liked that.
It's very San Antonio to go for the player that no one expects for some reason. Like, he's not a bad player. He's actually not a bad player, but he's just not what they need.
And especially with how high he went.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't projected to go until after the lottery too. Probably mid 20s, probably around there.
Did San Antonio really need another 30% 3-point shooter?
No. They need shooting. Exactly. That's why they should have went with AJ.
They went strong defense because you already know Popovich is going to go defensive side of the ball.
But the question is Jeremy going to be that piece, though, if they trade away DeJounte? I don't think so.
They should have gotten AJ Griffin. They needed the best shooter in the NBA. The best shooter in the draft was right there in your grasp. And he just falls.
The greatest shooter of all time stops you from winning another championship. And then the best 3-point shooter is on the draft board, and they let him slip away. It's sad. But, I mean, The Spurs, they always do something sneaky, and we all
I'm
think their
sorry.
players.
I love Popovich, but if they trade DeJounte Murray for that rumored return, he's washed. He's
Gallo.
so washed. He's a car wash. He's so washed. Oh my God. I saw that report and I was just like, what is this?
Get Gallo and 3 first-round picks, and DeJounte goes to Atlanta.
Like 3 first-round picks or 3 first-round picks, but you're trading DeJounte Murray, man.
But let's move. I think we all agree. The Spurs, L. I'm sorry.
That's not what they needed. It's just not what they needed.
But number 10 was my favorite pick of the draft. The Washington Wizards take Johnny Davis.
We both called it. We both called it.
I love it.
He just fits that team really nice. He's the perfect guard to put next to Bradley Beal in that Bradley Beal's room to stay, because he's a very strong defensive player. He needs to work a little bit on his playmaking, but he can put the ball in the basket as well. If he could fix that playmaking, I think it's the right player to have next to Bradley Beal.
So many young pieces on that team, though, too. I mean, they still got Gafford, Kuzma, Advia,
Thomas Bryant,
Rui
Denny.
Hachimura,
Denny,
Avia.
Oh,
And then now they add Johnny Davis to this alongside if Bradley Beal decides to say. This was a pick that I think everyone expected.
it's a no-brainer.
We both love it. Dude, Johnny Davis is my guy, bro. I'm excited. I think he's gonna have a very successful career in Washington. I don't see him going anywhere else besides Washington. I think that's the right team that he fits around, especially with Wes Unseld Jr. as their head coach. And he just fits the system perfectly.
Honestly, we gotta see. I want the Wizards to do good, but at the same time, it's hard. It's just such a weird limbo right now.
I agree. I mean, they're in that process of trying to jump over the hill and try to go upwards, but they still got that Beal contract and all that. And
I feel like they just don't have a sense of direction as a franchise. Like, what do you want? To go here, to go here? They choose to try to fit it in the middle, and it's just you gotta sell one or the other.
I think they're going to be like a 11th, 12th seed in the East, and they're going to end up back in the lottery again.
No, I can see them making the play in.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it all depends on what Bradley Beal does. But I think the Wizards on an uphill slope right now. They're getting over it. They're almost to the top. They're just waiting for that one piece to get over, and then they go straight down into the playoffs. But the team that took the fattest L of the entire draft, and I remember watching it, Stephen A. Smith was absolutely just furious. The New York Knicks, they drafted Osman Deng, I think that's how you say it, Osman Deng, but they traded him. I don't know what the Knicks were thinking this draft, honestly.
They acquired a lot of assets. I would assume with those assets, you have to trade something. But if you're going to waste that fat contract that you have for Jalen Brunson,
yeah, no, I don't agree.
I'm sorry. Paying Jalen Brunson $30 million is a go to Alcatraz.
But I mean, they got rid of Kemba though.
I'm sorry. A big three of RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson scares nobody.
No, they're a play-in team the most. Maybe
At
a low.
Most. They might not even, they're the lottery team still.
I mean, granted, they got rid of Kemba. They got 3 first-round picks out of it. I mean, getting 3 first-round picks for Kemba and the 11th pick, you rarely see that.
I would assume that they have a lot of flexibility to work with.
And I like it. I mean, I think a lot of people are I mean, I said that they're a major L for the draft, but I think in the future and what they're going for, I like the sense of direction that they're going. But right now they needed that.
We gotta see them execute. I don't
see it. I mean, Are they really gonna give Jalen Brunson 25 mil for the next 4 years?
Bro, if they do that,
It's-
lock the team up. Send the team to Seattle. Send the team to Seattle. We're done with the Knicks.
I don't. I'm sorry, New York Knicks fans, especially you, Stephen A. Smith and Spike Lee, bro. Just hold the L at this point. Your franchise is going nowhere. Everyone saw a sense of direction with Julius Randle and Barrett 2 years ago making the playoffs. But just after that, it's just going downhill.
The real bubble frauds.
No, that was the year after the bubble.
Yeah, I don't care. That year was the bubble frauds.
But number 12, love the pick. Oklahoma City takes Jalen Williams. And
No.
they also get Deng from 11.
OKC also had a really good draft, and they got the other Jalen Williams too. The OKC had a really good draft. It's a sneaky draft, very sneaky draft. A lot of wings, a lot of size.
What do you see the Thunder going with? Are they going to tank? You think they're going to tank next year to get a top pick, or do you think they're going to try and trade the picks for more talent?
They're a very young team. There's a lot of development to be done on that team. That's what the Thunder went with when they got all the draft picks imaginable that they got. A lot of project players. You got to develop them correctly. I mean, obviously, Chet being more a project player to me, for example.
Deng too.
Deng is a project too.
He's a EuroLeague player.
It's just hard to say where OKC is going to be at. I need to see what the team looks like. I need to see what the roster complete looks like because they're going to have to cut some players.
So this is what I see them doing. So I think they're going to draft the next 2 years, develop what they have now, and then they're going to move all these other picks. And I think they're going to be a contender in like, I'm going to say this is going to sound outrageous, but I see OKC being a contender in like 4 years.
It's possible. There's a lot to like in OKC.
I love it. I love what Oklahoma City is doing. It's just going to take time now. Like how we all expect when a team's rebuilding, it's going to take some time. Number 13, the Charlotte Hornets selected Jalen Duren.
And then traded to Detroit.
And then he got shipped off to Detroit, which is why Detroit was a
man.
fat W in this draft.
Bro, no. And then the rumors that they might get Miles Bridges.
Yeah, because the Hornets aren't offering him the max right now.
Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Well, the thing is, Jalen Duren might still get traded to Phoenix for DeAndre Ayton. That's a rumor I've been hearing.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, bro. Starting lineup of Ivy, Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham, Miles Bridges, and then either Duren or Ayton is nasty.
We haven't seen this Detroit. I've seen a lot of Detroit fans on YouTube, Twitter. We haven't seen these fans this excited since the Bad Boy days and then the Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups days when they won the chip in the early 2000s.
No, yeah, this team is going places. Will they win the East anytime soon? I don't know because the NBA is just ridiculously stacked with talent right now. But they're going places for sure.
I think they're like OKC right now. They have a lot of young pieces that they're trying to develop right now. And I'm going to say this for Detroit too. I see them being contenders, hopefully in 4 or 5 years. Detroit's a big market in our country. Well, not a super big market, but like if you look at the history of the team, the Bad Boy Pistons, and then you had Bad Boy Pistons Part 2 in the early 2000s with Darko Milicic, by the way, but still, I would love to see Detroit to get back on the market because they've been off of it for a long time, and it's time for another mid-level to smaller market team to blossom in the league.
There's a lot to like from this Detroit team. There's a lot to like.
I think they're kind of also like the Bucks too, a little bit.
I mean, they don't have a Giannis level player though.
But like when Giannis came into the league, though, we didn't expect him to be this good.
No, but Giannis. The thing with Giannis is that Giannis had arguably the highest motor we've ever seen a player have. His work ethic is ridiculous, and his work ethic is what got him to where he's at. And obviously, no player is going to have Giannis's work ethic. It's just super hard to find a player.
I'm not comparing Giannis to Jalen Duren
No,
or
no, no.
Jaden Ivey or nothing like that.
That's not what
I
we're doing. But the thing is, your comparison to Milwaukee is the fact that Detroit doesn't have a player of Giannis's caliber. But it doesn't necessarily mean that Detroit is going to be a bad team or anything like that sense. Detroit has a lot to like in the future, and they could be a more balanced team than Milwaukee has.
True. I mean, like I said, I'm not comparing Giannis to anyone. I just when Giannis was drafted at that time, the Bucks were in the same position Detroit was in. They drafted a whole bunch of young talent. They developed them. Now look where they're at, and I can see.
What would have been with Jabari Parker?
Okay, Jabari Parker. Okay, we can't talk crap about Jabari though. It was
what would have been had he not been injured so much, bro? What would have been?
That team down
Don't
the
lie.
end.
Jabari Parker and Giannis, if they stayed healthy, would have been.
From where I am, down south in the MKE, that would have been insane. Absolutely insane. I don't know, but like, let's think about this though for a quick second. Reports when Giannis and Chris Middleton first started playing together, they didn't like each other. They were playing for minutes. So would that have been the same issue with Giannis, Chris, and Jabari at the same time?
I feel
Possibly?
like Jabari and Chris couldn't have worked together because they put the same position. But I think Jabari and Giannis could have worked.
So you would have expected one of those two to get traded straight up.
Potentially, or one of them to be a six man, or maybe they play Chris Middleton too.
That's very true. But I'm liking where Detroit's heading right now. And for the last pick of the lottery, how we both predicted, the Cleveland Cavaliers took Ochai Agbaji from Kansas. And like how we said in the last pod, this is the only team that was best available at this point.
They're just flexing their height at this point. They're just flexing height. It's such a big team, and you add another big player for no reason outside of the fact that you just can.
I mean, it worked for part of last year. I mean, they just gotta
develop a bit more. Yeah,
I'm excited to see where Cleveland's going. I mean, we haven't seen the Cavs good without LeBron, and that was like way back in the 80s and before that with Mark Price and all of them when Jordan was around. But I'm excited for the Cavs though. I think they did. I mean, they only had one first round pick, and I think they nailed what they got. And I don't know what else to say about it. I think it was just best player available. I mean, he brings defensive and scoring threat. I'm guessing he's going to come off the bench.
A part of me wishes they went AJ Griffin, no lie though.
A shooter.
Oh, that would have been nasty.
But to finish off, let's talk about just bits and pieces. Who are you surprised that fell though quickly in 15 and lower?
I'll say draft picks I really liked. We'll go 15. Mark Williams, the Hornets. They need a defensive center. I really like that. Obviously, AJ Griffin's my boy. Him in Atlanta. I'm very excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Braun to the Nuggets is a sleeper pick. Keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on that one. Wendell Moore to the Mavericks. Actually got traded to Minnesota. But Wendell Moore is actually also another one you want to keep your eye on. Patrick Baldwin to the Warriors is a scary thought.
I liked it. I really liked it.
That's a very scary one.
With how Golden State's been developing players over the years, that's going to be dangerous. But a pick that I really liked, Miami at 27, they took Nikola Jovic. And
Nikola Jovic, he's got to work on his defense.
I think that's the issue. That's the issue with the Heat. They've been drafting good offensive players in the past how many drafts? They haven't found a guy that's a good defensive player in the draft yet.
Bam.
Well, yeah, besides Bam.
Bam.
But like Bam. Because they took Tyler Hero, not a defensive player. Year 7, not a good defensive player.
wasn't drafted though.
Well, underdrafted. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, the last drafted player from Miami would be Precious Achiuwa, who is a good defensive player.
But they shipped him.
They shipped him for Lowry because they needed a point guard.
And then they were going to ship Lowry. But that's a different story for a different time.
Another really underrated pick, Ty Washington to the Houston Rockets. Really good pick. A couple of second round picks I really like. Jaden Hardy to the Mavericks. I'd like to keep an eye on that one. EJ Liddell to the Pelicans is a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this should be about it.
So quickly, 2 winners, 2 losers.
Winners Houston and Detroit. I think that goes unanimous. And if we're gonna go a third, OKC.
So I have OKC and Detroit winning. And I think we both know who losers are. I mean, there could be 2. I mean, there could be 3 losers. But I'm gonna go with my top 2. I'm gonna say Sacramento lost. And I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks, but a possible third is Spurs too.
Knicks definitely lost. I'd say the Blazers lost with a question mark, depending on what they do with Shaden Sharp. It's just I don't know. It's just too many guards in that team. Are they gonna move into small forward role? If they do, then it works out. But if they keep him as a guard, I don't know how it's gonna work with already a packed guard system there. So I'll say the Pacers, but with a big question mark, just because of the unknown.
Another possible winner, have the Wizards too, with taking a Johnny Davis. Not myself being a Johnny Davis fan from being from Wisconsin, but I just like the pick. But what were the 76ers and Grizzlies doing? DeAnthony Melton for Danny Green in the 23rd pick. The Sixers really gave up Danny Green in the 23rd pick, 23rd pick for DeAnthony Melton.
Hold up. Before we start that, we have to talk about how the fact that we need to stop overhyping these draft day trades that never happen. Every year. Stop. Stop. They're not going to happen. Stop.
D'Angelo Russell.
Timberwolves was gone apparently by Thursday. Never happened.
Nope.
Never happened. I didn't even hear a single peep about D'Angelo Russell that night.
Russell Westbrook. I mean, we all knew it wasn't going to happen, but there were reports saying that the Lakers were shopping him. But the Heat shopping Kyle Lowry? I mean, I think they were. I mean, it all depends on what.
It depends on when you get back for Kyle Lowry. I don't think they're going to shop Kyle Lowry, but they will offer him if like the right player is available.
But overall, I mean, I think this is going to be a top draft in the coming years.
Good draft. This is a really good draft. It's deep. It's very deep.
I don't think it beats the 03 draft.
No.
Or like Tatum's draft or anything like that, or maybe even 2019 with Zion and John Morant or anything like that.
You're missing the best draft of the recent years, which is 2018, the Trey and Luka draft.
That is true. DeAndre Ayton too.
Exactly. No, we've had a lot of really good drafts recently. A lot of really good drafts.
Last thing, Rookie of the Year prediction.
Because of where they're at, I'm gonna go Jaden Ivey.
I hate to be that guy that's always like, oh, the first overall pick's going to be the Rookie of the Year, which I am doing a Rookie of the Year, my top first overall picks, my next video and all of that. And most of them aren't Rookie of the Years. I'll be honest about that. There's always some like random late bloomer that always comes out and performs very well. But I think I have to go with Pancaro, though. I just think that in the position he's in right now, I mean, there's so many players you could choose, like Banchero, Ivy, Johnny Davis. I mean,
Jabari Smith in Houston could be a shout too.
Maybe even Chet Holmgren. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, see if Chet Holmgren can beat the second round allegations, the second pick allegations.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
All right.
But thanks for joining the pod, guys. The next couple weeks gonna be super big. NBA free agency starts Thursday, and there's a lot of rumors going around right now, and a lot of stuff that have been going around recently. So we're gonna cover that in the next pod, and we'll check you all in the next one.
See you, Cowboy.